Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're making personalized clear sticker labels with the Cricut printable clear sticker paper. This is new by Cricut. They sent me some to play with, and I think this is going to be so perfect for all of your homemade gift items that you're going to make. You're going to be able to put your own label right on them, and it really steps up your packaging quite a bit. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's super simple, and we're going to jump right into it. Okay, so here we are in Design Space. Here are the labels that I made. I'm going to show you how to make something similar to this, but you can use any images you want. So I'm just going to get rid of those. And the first thing we're going to do is grab a shape. So let's click on shapes, and I like to use a circle. You can use whatever shape you want. I'm going to use a circle. I'm going to keep the lock in the lock position, and I'm going to change the circle to 2.5 inches. Now, just to make things a little bit easier to see, I'm going to change this circle to white. Perfect. And now we need some images to put on top of the circle to decorate it or to give it some color. And I am going to click on images, and I have typed in watercolor up here in the search bar, and it has brought up all of these gorgeous watercolor images that are already a part of Design Space. You can use these, you can use any image you want. It doesn't have to be a watercolor image, or you can upload your own images. I just found this to be very similar to what I did, and I like this image right here. It is by Natalie Milan. It is called Natalie Milan Watercolor Floral Bunch. It's from the Floral Wedding Suite digital set, and it costs 99 cents. It is not part of Access, so I'm just going to click on that and click Insert Images. Now, I'm going to grab another shape just so that I can put a background behind this circle so that you can see what's going on. So I'm going to hit Move to Back, and I'm just going to put this back here, and that just makes it easier for you to see the circle on the flowers. So if I were to take this flower, and I'm going to turn it that way, I'm going to resize it by dragging on the corner here, and I'm going to put it over my circle like this. Now, if I were to prepare this to print and cut, and anytime you print and cut, you're going to flatten. And what that means is I'm telling Design Space, I want you to print this, but I want you to cut around the edge of the image. I don't want you to cut inside the circle. So I would, if I were to do that just like it is right now, I would select the flower and select the circle and click Flatten over here in the bottom right corner, or right click and flatten. This is what Design Space sees that I want cut. It's thinking I want it to print this, but then I want it to cut around all of these leaves and flowers that are sticking out above the circle. And that's great. That might be exactly what you want. I think that looks great. But maybe I just want a perfectly circle sticker, and I don't want the overhang. So what I can do is remedy that by slicing it. So let's right click and unflatten, which means we're just taking this back to two separate images. And we know we can slice two images. If you're not familiar with slice, I have a video you can check out that just goes into detail on slice. But we know we can slice two images. So we're going to select the watercolor floral bunch over here in the layers panel, hold shift and select the circle. And now, since we just have two layers selected, the slice option is available. You can click slice right here in the lower right, or right click and click slice. Now don't move anything yet, but if you look over here in the layers panel, look what happened. Our image, let's turn off so we can see exactly what each layer is. This is the flowers that are on top of our label. We want those. This is the flowers that are outside of the circle. That's what we were trying to get rid of. So we can turn that off, or you can turn it on and just click delete. That's what I'm going to do. And look, it sliced where the layers overlapped. It sliced our circle in half. So if we turn off this half of the circle, it has now sliced our label in half, which means it would cut right down the center. That's not what we want. So we're going to turn that label back on, grab the other half of the label, and weld those back together. So we don't want those to cut. We want a solid round circle. Now, since we just sliced that, it put that to the top of the layers panel. That's not what we want. So we're going to click on it, click arrange, and move backwards. All right, we're almost there. But we still have 2 separate layers. So if we were to click make it right now, Design Space would print this separately and print that label separately. That's not what we want. We want it to print those flowers right on top of that label. So what are we going to do? We're going to select those flowers, select that label, and again, you can click flatten down here on the right, or right click and click flatten. And now you can see it's one layer, one label. It's going to look at this as one image, and it's going to cut that perfect circle. Now what if we want to put some text on here? Let's add text and say we just want to write the word thank you. Actually, I'm going to put thank you below. There we go. And I have the text Magnolia Sky chosen. That's a very popular one. It's available for free on dafont.com. But when you have script text, you don't want the letters, the tails of the letters, hanging off like this. You want them connected like script should be. So to fix that, we can go to letter spacing and just start clicking on the down arrow and see if we can get these to connect correctly. And this particular font connects very nicely just by adjusting that letter spacing. If you can't get it exactly the way you want, you can click Advanced and ungroup to letters, and then it'll let you move each letter individually. But this looks great. I'm not going to worry about it. I would like to separate that T and the Y a little bit, so we can also adjust line spacing. I'm going to click that up, and that's going to increase the space between the 2 lines of text. All right, that looks perfect. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to shrink this down to fit on our label. Now, if you want, you can weld this together. Since we're printing it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to cut, but you can weld it if you want. Now, one other thing I would like to do is change this text to a similar color to the blue in these flowers. So let's click on it over here in the layers panel. And I'm just going to click on a blue to give me the blue screens up here. And you see how this kind of goes from blue to black? Somewhere in the middle here is kind of a blue-gray. So I'm going to just start pulling that down until I can get a color that looks similar to that text. That's a little too dark. Or it's similar to that flower. All right, perfect. Now, one other thing we need to do. Right now, this is set as a cut layer. This is the print layer. We don't want it to cut the thank you out. We want it to print the thank you right on there. So what do? We tell it to flatten it. We want it to flatten it right on that circle. So we're going to grab that print layer, grab the label, and again, oops, let's get rid of that menu. Okay, grab the print layer, grab the label layer, and again, you can click flatten down here in the lower right, or right click and click flatten. I'm a right clicker if you haven't noticed. All right, so now we have one label, one layer. It's set to print. We know that by the little printer icon right here, and that's perfect. Now, we want to print as many of these as we can. If we're going to use a sheet of sticker paper, we don't want to waste it. So the easiest way to do that is to take your background image and let's change it to the size of the printable area, the largest printable area that Design Space allows. So in order to do that, we're going to unlock Keep Proportions. You can click the lock right here or click it right up here in the Edit panel. We're going to change the width to 6.75 and the height to 9.25. And that is the largest area that you can print and cut in Design Space. So I'm going to set this label up here. You don't want to put it right next to the edge. Give it a little bit of breathing room. When Design Space prints and cuts, it adds a bleed, which means it adds a little bit of extra ink around the edges just to make sure you get an edge-to-edge print. So you want to leave a little bit of room there. So we're going to duplicate this label, and I'm going to set that one right there. And I obviously can't fit a third one right there. That's fine. I want to leave a little bit of gap all the way around. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to duplicate again. I'm going to put that right below. Again, leaving just a little bit of space around those edges and in between. Duplicate one more time. I think I can get another row in. Perfect. But we have all this extra space. What are we going to do with that? Well, we can duplicate one more label, and I'm going to make some smaller labels. It's nice to have different sizes for different things. And I'm going to fit this one right here. I'm going to duplicate again, duplicate. Let's put some more in here. And you can make them as big or as small as you want. Like I said, I like to have a variety of different sizes for different products and different items. Some I might want to put on the back of an envelope, and I'll just use small ones. You could do your return labels this way. You could do your mailing labels this way. You could do, I have my blog website on mine, so I like to put them on things that I send to people. And so we're just going to fill up this extra space so we're not wasting any material. And I just keep duplicating another, oops, grab the wrong one. Just keep duplicating another label. And you can get crazy filling this up, but I think this is good enough for me. All right. So we have all of these set just the way we want. We no longer need this rectangle, so let's get rid of it. And let's click Select All. And we don't want Design Space to rearrange this once it sends it to the mat, because it might put it in a way that it's not going to fit all on one page. And we know for a fact this is going to fit in that printable area because we sized it. So in order to keep everything aligned just the way we have it, we're going to right click and click Attach. And here we have our labels. They're all attached together. They're not going to move. So when we click Make It, you can see Design Space has put it all on one sheet, arranged just the way we had it, and we're not going to waste an ounce of our sticker paper. So one thing I want to add is if you ever get to this screen and you see a purchase price down here and you don't think that you used anything in your design that you needed to purchase, you're part of Access or whatever, you don't think that you had anything that wasn't a part of Access, you can click Purchase and see what it is. You're not going to get charged until you put your Cricut ID password in here. So you can always click this and see, oh, okay, yes, I used the watercolor floral bunch. That wasn't part of Access. And also you want to notice if you are a Cricut Access Premium member, you get 50% off of your purchases. So that's a benefit right there to being an Access member. But I hear people all the time say, I didn't use anything, and I tell them, well, just click on it and it'll tell you what it is. And you can. It's not going to charge you. And then you can go back and click cancel and take out whatever it was you were getting charged for if you don't want to buy it. So go ahead and purchase this or do whatever you need to do and go to the next screen. And you're going to click Send to Printer. Now you're going to choose your particular printer. I'm going to print mine on my Epson. You need to print on an inkjet printer with this sticker paper. You're going to click Advanced Options, and this is important whenever you're printing on a glossy paper especially, but you want to choose the correct paper setting for your printer. So I am going to choose Photo High Gloss Paper. This doesn't have a label setting, but if yours does, you can use that. But I'm just going to print on the high gloss paper, and I'm going to put it on best quality. So then you're going to send that to your printer. And then once you've printed it, you're going to click View All right here in the materials. Click or type in sticker and choose sticker paper. Click Done. Go ahead and load it on your mat. It's going to give you the perfect kiss cut, so it's just going to cut the label and leave the backing so that you can peel the stickers off like you would a normal sticker. So again, I think these are going to be a lot of fun, and they really make your homemade gifts super special when you can put your name or a thank you or some kind of message and your own personalized label on your products that you are making handmade to give, you know, as a gift. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.